Hearing strange and perturbing noises en masse, ones disconcerting and worrisome enough to make it into print, have been going on since papers have been printed here in New Zealand. Not humming per se. There were the strange booming noises of 1907, obstinate echoes in 1924, strange noises put down to meteorites in 1930. Who could forget the subterranean rumblings of 1945? The only local NZ reports I could locate at a cursory search under the headline Strange Humming or similar were in 1896 and 1926. Both were traced to the mutual cause, humming telegraph wires. The modern day low frequency hum is different to those examples, an outlier. It's not a noise most of us will hear, like say the precursor to an earthquake sound Cantabrians like me got used to. The hum is detectable only by a tiny minority of the population, exists outside the human hearing range for most of us. Can we actually really technically say it is even a hum? Let's face it, most of us don't have a large vernacular when it comes to things auditory. Buzzing, ringing in the ear exhaust the list for most of us. Why did this phenomenon spring up overseas in the early 1990s, migrate to New Zealand by 2006? What changed in this period to cause a persistent low humming noise? Let's first try to get our bearings here and pin the known evidence on the board on a post-it stickum. Starter for 10. Globally it's widespread, predominantly though the Western world, industrialised countries as opposed to the agrarian. Examples being the Bristol Hum in the UK, Taos Hum in New Mexico, Windsor Hum in Canada, Bondi Hum across the Tasman, Omar, Northern Ireland, Germany, Japan, Argentina, the list goes on and on. Domestic versions include the North Shore Hum, North Canterbury Hum, Auckland Hum, Turangi Hum and Wellington Hum. Even split population-wise between North and South Islands. Already though, I do need to point out, even though we are only just slightly into this video, 2 on this abridged list of the widely publicised mass hummings, being the Windsor Hum in Ontario, the one in Wellington, were tracked down to a source. Windsor turned out to be the sound from blast furnaces. Wellington was tracked down to the distinctive sound of an electric generator on board a vessel moored in the harbour. This last example highlights the issue we have filing all anomalous sounds under the cryptic heading the hum. Technically Wellington was more of a buzzing, I'm thinking. On this note, personally, I frame humming sound to be that made by an old fridge you raided at 2 in the morning. Time and time, therefore, we see evidence in these reports we have from throughout the world, the power of suggestion. Back to more characteristics of the hum. DOS. Even in those locations, invariably the sound isolates itself into one area. Not everyone living on, say, Auckland's North Shore, being the 1 in 50 odd with the knack of deciphering the sound, will detect it. Just isolated pockets. Therefore, when you read about this or that hum, it's a very broad, expeditious brush, catering to the lowest denominator, geographic knowledge-wise. Third on the evidence board, the sound is omnipresent, not like the noise produced by the teen at number 12 practicing his drums, where the entire street can pinpoint it originating from their garage. It's said to be a total surround sound if you are inside its domain. Moving therefore between point A to point B won't make it go away or make it go quieter. The loudest time of the day for sufferers is normally at night time, when peripheral and environmental noise is at its lowest. Cat 4. Why doesn't someone test for it? Believe you me, plenty of scientists and researchers have had a crack. The problem testing for it is that when that process has been undertaken, two things happen. One, they caught nothing. Two, when they did detect a low frequency sound, it was indecipherable from numerous other ho-hum sounds like cool store chiller freezers, idling engines, etc. Rest assured, I will be giving you an extensive, very long list of what has been ventured to be the cause of the hum, any one of which, on a good day, or make that night, could fit the auditory criteria picked up on sound meters, etc. Since no one has been able to undertake an audiological hum test that cuts the mustard, isolates just the sound, this has led to the medical profession, those that have studied Jung, Maslow and Freud, to propose the roots are internal as opposed to external. As a sufferer of tinnitus, this is rather my specialist subject. When I first heard about the hum, tinnitus was top of my list for an explanation. Lay down at night and concentrate solely to that particular sound between your ears, in deference to other senses unpicking, would prove rather disconcerting. No, I'm not going to undertake an experiment just to prove or disprove this. My highly furtive, high-needs brain is busy off doing other, more productive stuff. Most of the time, though, it doesn't worry me. I can nod off in 2 minutes. Was in the New Zealand sleeping team at the Montreal Games. Although, there could of course be fellow tinnitus sufferers who are somewhat more sensitive to external sounds. I top my infliction off by playing in a punk band and turning the stereo up a notch. Are there, therefore, people that are blessed with a wider hearing range? Do you have something to do around the house rather than wasting time on YouTube, except for my videos? The lawns, kitchen floors. I'm about to get to the list of factors, proved and unproved, said to be attributable to the sound, or the sounds loosely called the hum. You have oodles of time to get those jobs done while I rattle off the list and not lose your thread in the video. Takes a deep breath. Radio frequencies, idling engines, window panes, chimes, cell phone towers, cell phone this and that, ocean gas lines, different grades of tar seal, planes overhead, planes communicating with subs, transformers, cooling units, microwaves, seismic waves, bees, trains, shortwave signals, sound of wind through tall trees and buildings, frogs, subsea gurgling, 5G, creatures from hither to unknown dimensions, secret military communications networks, generators, pylon structures, chimneys, earth resonating, fish, aliens, antennae working in unison, insulators, wind-farmed, windmills, Pan flaying his flute. 2 of those I made up, including the last one. Not though, beings from another dimension. Be my guest and pick the eyes out of that. What to make of all of this? If only I knew a local electrical engineer who at one stage ran his own product testing facility, including an acoustic testing chamber. Well, that's right, he plays guitar in my band. Why don't I just simply give him a call and ask him to give us his input? Our discussions can be summarised in 2 sentences. If it's not testable, it's neurological. I'm sure this conclusion will piss off the ardent believers. There is something ethereal and mysterious about the hum, not perhaps attributable to sitting too close to the speakers listening to Led Zeppelin 3 on full bore, aged 16. Let me give you another internal cause to strengthen my case. Not a bog standard noisy generator in the evening breeze. Now that we have things like Facebook and community forums, the worst afflicted, often undiagnosed, tinnitus sufferers hitherforth to openly discuss or deduce their symptoms online. with their newfound medical advice from anonymous user Undies1973, now beavering in on the buzzing in their earlobes, particularly lying in bed at night, sparked also by what they have read on the internet and taking good notice to the sensationalist headline Mysterious Buzzing, simply went with the flow. Wow, a ghostly sound. I can't pinpoint. That explains it. Suggestibility in motion. Now aware they can hear this ghostly sound, read tinnitus, the more they become conscious of it, putting to one side the decades spent working as a baggage handler on the airport tarmac, nor bothering to think an appointment at an audiologist may be of benefit. Now, if you need more convincing, everywhere but nowhere humming exists between your ears. You remember at the beginning I mentioned the hum reports being more prevalent in First World as opposed to the Third. This coincides entirely with the prevalence of tinnitus. Roughly 1 in 6 sufferers in England, 1 in 20 in Nigeria. Now, before you fire off a terse comment, I'm not dismissing people aren't hearing an inexplicable buzzy come humming sound. I do, right now, as I speak, and take my advice then, ignore it. And those of you that are married, say are part of the 80% of my male audience in particular, embrace your lack of hearing, milk it to the nth degree. Oh yeah, that sound you have been listening to, it's my beer fridge. Drink enough of its contents and it's a sure portal to another dimension. Bye for now.